Hello Gypsers, it's me Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. Today I just wanted to give you an update on the 28mm Perry Plastics Waterloo Infantry. Well, I'm calling them Waterloo Infantry, you know, 100 days campaign. They've got the Belgic shakos on anyway. I've painted them up hopefully as the first foot guards. I've really enjoyed doing these. I'm a bit behind schedule on them. Obviously I've been all over the place the last couple of weeks, but I've got 4 that have just got to have some emblems and a tidy up to do, and I've got obviously the 4 at the back, the rest of command to actually start, but they shouldn't take too long. So I mean, you have seen some before. These aren't really their red coats red coats. I suppose they all look the same really after a bit, but I just thought I'd get some in. I've got one of the flank companies and there's only one sergeant with the box. You can get, as you guys know, you can get sprues. These are I'm just going to put these up for sale. If I had the extras, I'd do even those that I'm putting up for sale. If I was buying them as metal, I'd like to throw a few extras in. You know, maybe the extra officer, extra sergeant, extra drummer, that type of thing. You know, or any other extra postage you can think of. But even still, they've been really nice to do. As I say, the moulding's fairly decent on them. It's not too. Let's keep that there so the backing doesn't fall off. Yeah, I think the moulding's fairly decent on them. When this is all finished, I'll get some pictures up. Put a bit of wear and tear on the cartridge boxes and the boots. Well, they'll just look. Probably the boots will just look like mud by the time I've finished with them, and the lights are mucking some of the colours around as well. But you know, as I say, I think facially wise, you might not get exactly the depth of sculpt to get your paint on, if that makes sense, with some of these plastic figures. But if you just put your whatever colours you particularly want to paint your faces in, if you just go a bit careful and put them in the right places, it still highlights the face enough. You still get a decent face out of them. Done the regimental crests on the back of some of them, only some of them, and not very well. Even at this scale, it's a bit hard to get the best of shapes in them, but or painting in, I should say. And again, the water canteens, I've put an arrow on and then just put some markings to show writing, rather than try and make anything up out of them. As I say, you always want a bit more out of figures sometimes, and we all get greedy on that. I would have liked to have had a few, you know, a few without the covers on, maybe in the Belgic. Obviously, in the pack it comes with the stovepipe, and that's, you know, some of those are crushed up and they've done a really good job on those. And normally I tend to go for the Peninsula, because. Just purely because my own regiment was obviously in the Peninsula and not in the 100 days. And I tend to do that a lot. You see a lot with yellow facings or black facings if I'm doing the other part of the regiment. This is the other flank company I'm still working on. I've still got to obviously put some gaps in the lacing. Still got to tidy up the wings. Put an emblem on 1 or 2. Obviously the water canteen's going to have a bit more highlight and things done. So not far off on those. They're just, what I tend to do is when I get to that stage, I'll do some blocking in colours. And yes, It's just old-fashioned, really, because I've got a hairdryer that I use on figures and on modelling and that, and just to speed up the process. And I could just put the hairdryer on them, but I tend to, you know, put a base colour on the trousers and the jackets, and as they're drying out, I'll then go back and do, say, the, you know, tidy up work on these four, the flank company. I'm just putting these on 4 to a base. As I say, they are just, you know, going to be not resold, but sold on, I suppose. I've tried, as we all do, to, you know, put heads in different positions, and that's what I do like. I must admit, the plastic, the figures, sometimes it can be a bit unnatural when you're trying to get the maximum squeezing out of a pose with an arm, unless you're going to do some modifications to that arm. That's the way it is. But even still, when you look at them, I do like the idea that almost every head's slightly in a different angle. That, you know, you do your best, you know, reaching for the cartridge box. You know, let's just see this guy here, if nothing falls over. All right, different standing poses as well. You know, yeah, you know, different hair colours. You know, you do what you can to mix the regiment up anyway, or the little fellas up. But I do like how you can get, you know, different head. Just you can turn a head from right or left, up, down. Yeah, occasionally you might get it slightly looking a bit obscure with the back of the head or something, you know. But then I'll just paint some extra hair in or something, just to try and get that feel that, you know, more or less the entire unit of these little blokes are all doing their thing, you know. Somebody's looking a bit worried off to the left, somebody's getting on with, you know, this guy here reaching for his cartridge, looking under his peak of his shako. As I say, throw a few emblems on. As I said to you guys before on the last update I did on these guys, I'm sure that either they would be painted on individually, or it could be a unit pride thing where the lieutenant colonel, the regiment, whatever, or the colonels, you know, just said, right, we're having all our backpacks are going to be having this on the back of them. It could just be an individual basis. And the same with the cartridge boxes. I don't even know if I've got, first one there. You know, I've just done the odd painted on. It's not supposed to be a brass badge put on the back. It's just, you know, the soldiers put his regimental crest on the back, which for these guys would be Honi Salcum Mani Pence, evil be to him who evil thinks. Tried not to get the eyes too starey. On some of them it is. Even upside down. The only problem is with saying all that, when I do twist the heads around and up, down, all the rest of it, if the musket or the bayonet's in the way, even turning them upside down to paint the eyes upside down, sometimes you still can't get your paintbrush into the areas you want to, and you end up sometimes with not a fried egg look, but maybe the eyes, you know, not as good as you'd have wanted them to. That guy's not too bad. It's supposed to be the Royal Cipher with a crown on the top. So, thank you very much for stopping by and taking a look. Hope everything's going well with you guys. As I say, this unit's not that far from completion now. I don't think I'll be doing much to the bases in the not, you know, because I'm selling them on. It's just on the 4-figure bases, you can't always get a lot of stuff on the base, so I don't think I'll be going for any discarded packs. I'll have a look. Obviously I've got muskets and packs left over, I believe. Have I? I've got muskets. I don't know about packs actually, but we'll see. Anyway, I'll have a look in my spares bag, but I don't think I'm going to be able to squeeze any of those on without it looking just a mess, you know. But occasionally it's nice to put a pack on, or a discarded musket, you know, a shako even, you know, of, you know, whether it's the French or your own, just to add a bit of interest to the base, really. So I'll see about that when I actually start placing the figures on. I've done, as I say, some corporal stripes. I've not done any chosen men stripes, because in the end I didn't want just a whole load of stripy arms. But because I've added a few extra corporals, just because I've only got the one sergeant, and I think that's about it. As I say, I've got some GMB colours that I've had for ages and ages, which I think I bought for these. I've had these a fair old while now. So, and as I say, the one subaltern holding the colours, his arm was bust off. So I've taken another rank's arm, and it's it's in a really unnatural position. It's this guy here. But no, it is what it is. Guys, again, thank you very much. You look after yourselves. Videos coming up. I've finally got some paint on the Tiger tank. Hurrah! For all my modelling buddies out there. I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon and tonight painting the tow cables and things like that on it before I start all the weathering. So I think once I've done so either tomorrow or the next day I will put a video up of that. There won't be any weathering, it'll just be the paint and the basic paint job on the tank, and obviously it's weathering from then on and working on the tracks a bit more. Tracks are all built and undercoated, primered, based I should say, and it's really now just got to have a work on those as well, but I'm not 100% sure how they're going to fit together yet. They're Lincoln length tracks, and I'm not even 100% sure if they'll actually fit this model. So we will see. We will work our way around it one way or the other. I've also got some figures for that, which I'll do an unboxing for later on in the week probably. So that's that. The group build, Paul's group build, military model of Paul. Go check Paul out. Really nice bloke. Check his channel out. He's running a group build, a Remembrance Day, Armistice Day group build. I've got a Warwickshire Yeomanry in roughly 54mm, I believe. That's stalled a bit only because I've been doing all this other stuff and it's just too many oranges juggling. But the 28mm Perry figures from the Salute gift bag that Mick from the MGH 1736 channel, thanks again Mick, he gave me, they're more or less, they're all painted up really. I'm just going to go one last clean up over them and get them on the bunker base that I made for them, and then just tie them into that base. So they've only got probably next week you'll probably see those, or maybe the weekend. But I want them off the table now because they're all ready to go. And after that, if you remember, I did a commission on AB Saxons a year ago or so. A huge commission. I've got a couple of batteries that were left over from that, and I'm asked the client the other day, would you like me to actually do? I mean, he'd already said yes, but I'd left it for so long, and I'm only doing it because I've got big head problems, and I don't normally obviously leave stuff. It was just floating. It was there, do them when you want to. So he's finally getting his couple of batteries. So you'll see some AB Saxon gun batteries being painted next. I've held these figures for ages, and some more AB figures, and they are AB early Prussian Napoleonic dragoons. So I'm going to get those done, and then I've got to say a whole. I've got a load of AB figures to paint and sell, and some other bits and pieces. Modelling wise, finally going to be cracking on with the FW190. I promised myself, once the Tiger's weathered, and I'm starting the base, and that is getting a base. That's going to have the FW190 will be done. Probably not next week, but the week after, because I said it was going to be like a little holiday build for me. So that's going to be done all in one go. So you'll be glad to know that's not been strung out. And the SAS Pink Panther Land Rover, the only reason that came to a grinding halt again was I've been making rocks for Greg and Ian, these scenic plaster rocks, and I wanted them to have some. And I haven't made any for myself yet, so I'll be making some of those and then making a little base for that, and then that can be shown off. And then we've got the T34 build coming up in 1:35 scale. So it's all go. So you look after yourselves. I hope everything's going well with you and you're keeping yourself safe and sound in these dark times. Always remember, your bench is one of the best places to be. You take your mind off stuff, get stuck into whether you're painting figures or whether you're sticking bits of styrene together. It's all fun. It all puts a smile on your face, unless of course you gav where you stick A to Z and B to R and you know it, and then the rest just to your fingertips. So look after yourselves, guys. We'll catch each other soon.